everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress, of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me per usual are two of your other hosts. We got Alex, LeBron / the dad, and we got Brian, the beer / new reliable / the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative on a Dragon Ball Z Redemption arc. Hello, fellas. How are you guys doing today?
What's up? Doing good, feeling good.
That was yeah.
I actually had a really crazy
really
day.
Tired a lot.
I had a really crazy day. Actually, you're tired too.
Yeah, what'd you do today?
I went to Jersey. I didn't. I should have told you guys off the podcast.
That explains everything.
It was like, I'm not gonna lie. It was like one of the worst days of my life.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
It was just a crazy toddler packed day, and I can't be mad at it. End of the day was amazing, but it was just like a really long car ride, and no nap, and not enough snacks. And there was a lot of expectations that one toddler had for things, and when they didn't quite go a certain way, she was not happy.
And it was like me for real.
Yeah.
That toddler
she just didn't want to nap, and we all went through an adventure together. But then as soon as we get home, she took like a 10-minute nap or whatever on the way home. And then it's like she's the most sweet, cutest little thing. Like, of course, what?
It's like she didn't just like ruin an hour of the day. Like,
but you were just the Joker to my Batman. You can't be cute now. Get out of here.
No. It started off rough and ended amazing.
That's good. At least it ended amazing. That's what's most important, right?
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
But we made it. Made it to record.
Nice. Here we are, listeners. Bit of a short one, bit of a fun one, catching up on some newsy stuff and some fun game stuff. But as usual, check the time codes if you want to avoid spoilers or skip sections or anything like that. But with that being said, guys, should we hop into our first segment of the week?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
News talk.
First piece of news. As we know, guys, The Boys season 4. It just premiered this couple days ago, the first 3 episodes of season 4. But with that, a pretty important, I would say, piece of news came out that from the creator of The Boys, saying that season 5 is going to be the final season of The Boys. It will end next season, which I think we were just talking about this a couple weeks ago or something about like where we thought The Boys would go and how it would end and all this stuff. And we were hoping that it would end sooner rather than later. And look at that. It is.
I was about to say, I was like, this might be a hot take. But I think this is great news. Because I think that this show has a lot of potential to be very good. And I think it'll only be its best when it ends. Because if it's a show that just like doesn't ever end, then I think that it has the potential to get really fucking bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it was a thing that we also talked about because I guess slight spoilers for the comics, but not really because I don't think any of us have read them. We've just seen some stuff that the story kind of doesn't end from what I believe. I don't remember. It doesn't kind of quite end with like the Homelander. I don't think is the end all be all of the comics. I think he's definitely an end, but I think there's definitely more stuff that happens that I don't know if this show can do that at this point. I think everyone's kind of set on Homelander is the one to beat, and then the show can end.
Because it might be kind of like Invincible. Invincible kind of has an issue that I've been struggling with personally, where it's like I didn't read the comics of that, and of course the one big plot twist happened, and it was like, well, after that, I don't really care about any of this shit. You know what I mean? And it's like maybe it'll come back and really hit me. But I feel like a lot of shows and a lot of comics especially go through that. Well, they'll have like a really big, interesting thing, and then maybe the rest of the arcs might not be quite as cool, so it might not be worth kind of putting on a different screen.
No, I think Invincible kind of like you said, going through the same-ish thing, and which is I guess that I think this is a good thing then for The Boys. I don't know how season 4 will end, obviously, but seemingly this will end with the Homelander-esque conflict, at least, or a Butcher-esque, something, you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely on the side that like the best TV shows know when to end, so that can only be a good thing. I'm still a little worried. I didn't mind how the season 3 ended, but they're getting too deep into too close to what we kind of already have going on right now as far as like politically and that kind of climate that I'm kind of worried about. It's not that I don't like it. It's just kind of one of those things that it's like, I don't know that we can make satire on it quite yet because it's still a very real reality at this point. You know what I mean? Like, so I have been reading the Twitter comments around that people are like, wait, is this show about us? And it's crazy that it took them 4 years to realize that, that you were being made fun of the whole time. Yes, that's been funny. It's reminding me the same as the people that were playing Rage Against the Machine at Trump rallies, and it was like, I don't know if you know what that band stands for.
All right. Let's move on to our next piece of news. Oh boy, Brian. This Blade movie. It's going through some terrible stuff. Will it ever be made? I really don't. I really don't think it will.
Cut so that shit, bad.
This comes from the Wrap. It's a rumor, so it's not been confirmed, that potentially Jan Demanji, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, who was directing the Blade movie for Marvel, has reportedly exited the project.
The second director, by the way, was the second director.
Yeah, I don't understand how this can be going so wrong. There's literally a blueprint. There's 3 movies that were made. Just like, how has this been? It's been like 5 years since they announced this movie with Mahershala.
Literally 2019 that they tried to do it, and it had a different director that was pretty fair set. And then they were like, "No, this isn't working for me. We have some creative differences." And then they did this. I don't know why this movie is suddenly impossible to film. And I know that Blade is like originally pretty early 2000s feeling as far as like the first 3 movies. So maybe they're like, we don't want to go quite that route. But it's like,
just do vampires,
right?
Just do vampires.
I feel like there's so much source material.
A dude that can go walk in the daylight, killing vampires. Like, I don't understand.
It would be cool.
Connect it to Morbius. I don't care.
Maybe don't do that. Maybe let's not get too hasty. Wait a second. But yeah, I'm really curious about this one. Put it on Netflix. I don't know. Disney Plus.
Oh no.
Hulu.
Not the Netflix. No. Yeah, this one is just this might be a fucking Batgirl scenario, man, where
yeah, they just end up writing it off because it's just not working.
We're just never gonna fucking see it, because I can't imagine this is they have to be spending money in terms of paying people to write and rewrite and I don't understand. It's just it's gonna be one of those things. If this never comes out, it will be one of those things that is like, how did this get so fucked?
Right. Like, I would love to see a documentary later about what happened.
Yeah, 1,000%, 1,000%. But and on top of this, fucking Wesley Snipes, Blade himself, decided to poke some fun at all this.
Don't you have taxes to pay, Wesley? Stop.
On Twitter, saying, this is what he put on Twitter. He wrote, Blade, lordy, lordy, lordy. Folks still looking for the secret sauce, riding snowmobiles in traffic. Kind of rough. Daywalkers make it look easy, don't they?
That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty funny.
That
Bring him back. How old is Wesley Snipes now? He's got to be pretty old.
He's got to be 60, 58, 60 probably, I would imagine. But look, I would love to see them bring him back. Maybe not as Blade, but like they could honestly bring him back as like a weird multiverse Blade for like 10 minutes. Like, who cares?
Or just a random character that's just not Blade, so you just be like, oh, that's the guy. Then that'd be cool.
Right. Yeah. So, and it sucks because like this would be a dope movie. Like,
I thought Blade was really cool. I really enjoyed Blade.
Now it's gonna get to a thing where like they have to let Mahershala go. Like he's gonna be 58. It's very soon. Right. I would imagine like himself. Like, bruh, what are we doing?
He just wants that Marvel money, bro.
I feel so bad for him. You know, like he really wanted this role and to do like, I feel so bad for him. It's a bummer. But anyways, moving on. Let's continue. But to do that, we need to hop into the trailer park. So let's go.
Mob Spaghetti.
Do people still care about Watchmen?
I think people do care about Watchmen. I think maybe less and less so as time goes by. Or I don't know. I think that especially that Zack Snyder movie was very divisive in terms of people liking it, people hating it with their guts. But I will say that Watchmen TV show that not a lot of people watch, I don't think, what is honestly one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. It is such a good fucking TV show.
I do need to put the time and actually watch it. I think Watchmen's an interesting world. You never heard of Watchmen?
Oh, no, I said I never finished it. I never finished the series.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed a couple pages from the graphic novel and like the movie a lot. But I never finished the TV series.
No, that show is so good. It is so.
Yeah, I've heard really good things. I gotta finish it up.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's interesting that they're giving it another crack. But I will say, like, animation form is cool. It looks sick.
Oh, you like it? I find it. I don't know how I feel about it because obviously they're using CG, which has been a technique that's gotten pretty popular in anime recently. Which is kind of funny because it reminds me a lot of Dragon Ball Superhero, and that was a pretty divisive art style for that. That series, because it was like, oh, we don't like it when it looks like that. I don't hate it. It almost looks like a video game in kind of like an interesting way, but there are some things that I'm like, it looks a little stiff. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. My biggest question would be like, if this is true, because obviously, like, the Snyder movie took some liberties and changed a couple things from the actual graphic novel, and I do wonder if this is going to be more of an exact kind of like 1-to-1 to it.
That'd be interesting.
If it's good, cool. If it's bad, no real skin off my back personally.
Yeah.
Are they gonna show Dr. Manhattan's dick? That's the important.
I think
question.
they have to. It has to be rated R.
You have to show the penis. Which means they had to CG make a penis again. Second time.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's twice now they've had to CG a blue dick.
Nice. I'm in. I'm interested. I'll go back and watch the TV show.
But yeah, we'll see. Pretty cool. Interesting. We'll see. All right. That is the trailer park, fellas, which means that is the news, which means, guys, should we move on to our main topic of the week?
Let's do it.
But first, we are once again trapped in yet again another fortress. This is a fortress that is might be divisive on its own, not gonna lie. I don't know. I feel like people are genuinely positive about this, but I haven't done enough research, to be honest, to say so. But I know when that gameplay trailer came out, me and Brian were very much not on the positive side for it. But will this sway? I don't know, because let's talk about it, because we were in the fortress of
Dragon Age. I don't know if it has like a theme song that I can just like sing or whatever.
Dragon Age. Yeah.
Yeah, Dragon Age.
That sounded like a cartoon children's.
I would watch that
for a second.
Which, to be fair, the trailer did look like a cartoon, and that was pissing me off.
Yeah, listeners, so we were in the Fortress of the Dragon Age, the Veilguard. They had a big 20-minute gameplay reveal, that like literally the day after we recorded, I think. But not before we talked about the actual trailer reveal that was at games or Summer Game Fest, E3, whatever, one of the conferences.
E4,
and me and Brian talked about it last week, and we're both like, this doesn't look that great for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what it was, but it was just the art style wasn't really crazy about. And then they showed this gameplay for a game that they still say, after everything that this has gone into production, the first actual gameplay reveal, they say it's coming out this fucking year, which is crazy.
I think I missed that part. That's pretty wild.
It says fall 2024.
Right. This game went radio silent for years, so we thought they didn't have shit.
And now they're like, here's the whole thing. That's crazy. But yeah, we're here talking about that very briefly, listeners. Brian, I gotta know, did this sway you towards the positive side of this game now?
I mean, I was going to fuck with this no matter what, even if it looked like a fucking, 16-bit RPG, because I'm just that big of a BioWare and Dragon Age fan. But no, I do actually think that it looks good. Like, I think it's actually a pretty game, which is surprising. Not surprising necessarily, but it's surprising based on kind of what I've seen for like PS5 and Xbox so far. I haven't exactly been blown away. And not to say that this has the best graphics I've ever seen, but I do really appreciate the art style and the lighting style is really showing kind of like the ray tracing aspect that's supposed to be so big about what we have with this generation's consoles. It's definitely not a huge upgrade from Dragon Age Inquisition. Similar to, I feel like Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda wasn't a huge difference. But I think that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's a pretty game. It's not the most next gen-y, but it is still a pretty game, which I definitely agreed with.
I'm gonna stop you guys right there. I'm excited about this game, but maybe something that I saw was different than what you guys saw. I don't know if it's like the rendering thing, but I saw something that was from like Dragon Age's page. It's like Dragon Age YouTube or whatever. But it doesn't look. It looks good, but it like, I don't know if it was just like ripped off of like the projector or something. Like the blacks are just like super dark.
It is a very like dark looking game,
and like the cutscenes, especially like the rendering of like the shadows. It just feels like things just really, really fall off, like, you know, drastically too far. Like people's faces, you can't see their faces. I feel like you should see their face, like, you know what I mean? Like you need to adjust the brightness like one notch or something like that. It might just be like the way like this was meant for like an audience, and they just have like a different export that they didn't do, or maybe it's my internet or something. But
it could be a few things, to be honest. One of the things, like, it could just be like this is the area, and maybe they just didn't like the area as well as they could. I also think an issue that could be is the fact that I was talking about how there's like ray tracing now. And ray tracing is like, of course, like making the light in real time, so they're not like artistly like going through and like placing the lighting themselves anymore. And maybe that's causing an issue. Maybe some of it's where it's like, we didn't actually put any lights here. It's just what the natural lighting is supposed to be coming through, and maybe that's just making it too dark, too much of a contrast. So that could be an issue.
It could have also been like the black character, and like the first like couple minutes or whatever. It was just like, you know, thinking about it like as a movie or something. I just always get pissed off when like people of darker skin tone don't get like lit properly or lit well, and I was like, this is bullshit.
My boy is dark skinned, and then they decided to put him in the darkest area of the game. I've seen a cutscene with him and Varen standing beside each other, and
you only see his eyeballs.
In complete darkness. Yeah, you cannot see that man at all. He's a silhouette.
I'm glad it's not just me. I really couldn't get past it, but I'm sure there's other scenes where, you know, the lighting on every character is beautiful.
Guys, this game has been in the making for 5 years. It's gonna have some issues still.
That is the shittiest thing I've ever heard before in my life. In 5 years, it's probably been way longer than 5 years. It just got announced 5 years ago.
Probably
the first game came out in 2014. I'm willing to bet you they started working on this on 2015.
I'm about to say it might be near a decade making this fucking game.
I refuse to believe it's only been 5 years.
That's a long fucking time, guys.
It definitely has Inquisition.
That's a long time.
Inquisition vibes, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah,
that's like nearly the first three like from Iron Man to Endgame length of time. That's
just to make one video game.
Insane.
Yeah,
dang.
Gaming has become very intense. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, look, I think you two definitely have more Dragon Age experience than I do. I've only played half or 3/4 or maybe a fourth. I don't even know how far I am in the first game, which I loved. But I got to the dwarves and I was
only
like,
the first one?
I never played the second one or Inquisition. I don't have the second one. I have Inquisition. I have all the DLC. I just haven't gotten the
second one's pretty skippable.
To go.
I wouldn't say that a lot of people complain about it, but I still think it's a story worth playing. Because there's a lot of lore and stuff that you
I would still play it just because, you know, that's who I am. But
yeah, Dragon Age 2 is very Legend of Korra first season in that it's like kind of an aside story, and it's like very like low stakes in comparison to like obviously the first game you're the fucking savior of the earth, and then this game is like you're in this city and this guy kind of sucks, and it's like, oh, okay, all right, sure,
right.
So yeah, there's that, but I still think it's a game that's worth playing. Also. The game, it shows a part that I think is going to actually be in this game as far as like conversation style, and that you can finally be funny again. One thing I love about Dragon Age 2 is you can make your main character funny. You know how you have the responses, and there's like different kinds of responses. One is like heartfelt, one is like angry, stuff like that. They always had the funny one. And I always pick the funny one because there's nothing better than you're going through a really stressful situation. Everyone's about to die. You're just like, one-liner. That's my shit. I like that shit a lot.
Nice.
That's what I'm
cool.
excited about. That they brought from Dragon Age 2. Another thing from Dragon Age 2, you can romance any character you want. And Twitter is mad about that. Because in their mind, that means everybody has to be pansexual. And we don't like that gay shit around here. At least that's what they say on Twitter.
I mean, they are like the BioWare. They did confirm that, but it's also like, so.
And that's my thing. It's just like I think that brings a nice change of pace for it, because that lets you romance whatever character you are interested in, despite what your character's gender is. And then also, if you don't want your character to be gay, don't try to fuck him. And now that character's not gay because you're having platonic conversations with them. If that's what your headcanon to be, don't say flirty shit to your male character if you're male. Just say normal shit, you weirdo. I don't understand. If your character's gay, it's because you were being gay with them. I don't know. So it's been a very weird argument.
Everybody has the chance, the possibility of liking you.
Right. Very Baldur's Gate 3-esque, right?
Yeah,
that's really
sounds
funny.
Like Baldur's Gate 3.
Nobody
always
the game is
in
making
Baldur's
me be
Gate.
gay, but it's like, wait, no, there were many options for you, but you picked that one.
I don't know if y'all play, for people that played Dragon Age Inquisition, of course, Iron Bull, the character played by Freddie Prinze Jr., was a canonically gay character, I believe. He might have been bi. He might have been bisexual. But of course, as a male Inquisitor, you could still romance him. But if you don't, he doesn't like just try to flirt with you or be like, he doesn't break any boundaries. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, everybody, like you only learn about it because you start acting that way towards him, or you wouldn't even know that he was a character that was romanceable by the male character.
Yeah, actually, didn't know that.
One off. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, see, you wouldn't even know it if you didn't do it. Yeah. So that's my thing. It's like in your headcanon, he could totally be straight because he's not going to say anything to you about it. So I don't know. That's a weird thing.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, look. When it comes to any kind of anything that's against what was a norm and now is slowly less of a norm, people are going to be angry at.
It is role-playing. It is fantasy. Fuck who you want to fuck in your random video game. I don't get it.
Brian, how can I pretend I'm the 6'3" giant person?
Well, you may want to fuck the also 6'3" giant person. And now you can.
Yeah. I don't know. People are weird, but yeah. No, I mean, look, and that they also talked about how like you can import like your choices from past Dragon Age games.
That's
which
super
is cool.
exciting.
And like, but
how do you find?
I
played those on so many different systems. I wonder how that's going to work.
I think you can. I don't know if it can necessarily import it, but I know you can like go back and make changes to like your like. I think they're going to do like kind of how they did.
Did one of the Mass Effect games do that?
Yeah, where it's like you basically had like a mini comic or something to kind of go through your choices with it, and then they'll kind of like tell you like what impact those choices make.
I don't remember what I did.
I originally played Dragon Age Inquisition.
Well, that's my other thing I was
going
to say. Like, do you even remember what the choices you made?
Nope.
And that's why they said they were going to make it like and like tell you like what those choices do, so you can kind of like be like, oh, okay. Because I do remember Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2 maybe, or Inquisition. It might have been one of the two that I was like, I don't remember anything that happened in this previous game. So like you're telling me, did you save Bark? Oh, who the fuck is Bark? I don't know if I saved that man. Like, what does that mean? So shit like that, yeah.
Yeah. So they did say that, they're gonna make it easy. It's basically like essentially what you just said, which is fair. I mean, a decade later, like what the fuck game? Why?
I mean, I loved my Inquisitor. I thought she was super cool.
Look, I'm impressed that this is continuing anything at all. Like the fact that they're like this is still a continuation of those games is kind of insane.
Yeah, 10 years later, and this is kind of like the first like, direct sequel.
Yeah, it does feel like it's a direct sequel, but it's like several years later, right? It feels like there's a lot of time has passed.
10 years later, apparently.
Oh, solid. Okay.
Solus works real
just
slow.
Like
I guess.
Real life.
I don't know.
Yeah, you would think he'd have a lot more shit going on.
Because I was talking to that man, and he was like, "We're doing this shit right now," and I was like, "Okay, bet." And then he was just like, "Okay, maybe I'll go start a farm somewhere." All right, sure.
Yeah,
he's definitely OP though. Like he's summoning a bunch of shit, and he breaks that pillar from falling on top of himself.
Listen, the spoilers are in the trailer. We all know that Solus is not a good person at this point. Dragon Age Inquisition, he is one of your party members. Why couldn't he do that shit when he was in my party? He was obviously a god. You knew we needed help. What do you do?
He was obviously a god.
Bro kind of sucked.
Yeah, he was never in my party.
Nope. All you need is Blackwall. Blackwall was strong as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which,
wasn't his? Let's talk. Can we talk about the ending of Inquisition and preps for this? I don't really exactly remember what happens, but isn't it like the post-credits scene where it's revealed Solus is evil?
I think the very original post-credit scene is when he reveals it, and it might not even be. It might be like a one-liner, and then in Trespasser DLC is when you actually like go and confront him on him being a dickhead.
Oh, that's
which I know
cool.
you don't play DLC.
Yeah, I didn't.
So if you did,
I didn't unlock that section.
Yeah, it would make the ending that much more satisfying because you actually confront him on being a dick.
Cool.
He actually like runs away and stuff, and that gets a little bit further
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
really
But yeah,
cool.
basically, long story short, is he is the Dreadwolf. He was the ancient elven god that he was often referencing when he was talking about how much he cared about elven things, and then he was talking about how like he wanted to use you to open the veil, to have basically the veil and the real world basically exist together, similar to once again Legend of Korra.
Yeah, wow, that's cool.
And you were like, "Well, fuck you,
nerd." Because why not?
Right.
So yeah, now it's kind of the ending. Guys. That's cool. That definitely makes this. I was like, damn, a lot of time has passed, and he's definitely like doing some shit. But like, what really exactly happened?
I mean, that's kind of because I think originally they wanted to make the Inquisitor be like the main character again, and I don't know why they were playing around with that. But the Trespasser DLC, one of probably the reasons you can't be the Inquisitor in this next game is because Solus takes your arm.
Word.
That's fun
because you have the power to mess with the veil, and he was like, I don't like that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that from you, homie. And he just goes,
wow, that's crazy. Do you die in the end of the DLC?
You don't die, but you do lose your arm. You think it's like a little like this is such huge spoilers for the DLC, but this game came out 10 years ago.
Let's go.
But yeah, everyone thinks you die, but he actually just takes your arm, and you still exist, but you have one arm now,
and you just suck.
Yeah, so I don't know if you need to be really fighting battles because now you have a disability. Now you're getting a check every month.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
That is interesting. I know. I have no idea who you're talking about.
You should. I really think that if you play any of them, you should play Inquisition because I do think.
I want to because it looks so cool, and everyone says it's so fucking good.
It was.
I gotta boot up the PS4 to play it.
You have a computer now. You can get it on PC, and it'll probably look a lot better.
That's also true.
And it's probably like it's been $10 for the longest time, so it's probably $10 if not less to get all of it all together.
Right. Funnily enough, is that a word? Funny enough,
no.
Several months ago, it feels recent now, but it was about several months ago, I booted up Dragon Age 3 on my PlayStation 4.
Oh, wow.
And I played for like an hour. I was like, I finished the game years ago and kind of turned it off for a long time. And it randomly was like, let me just see what's going on. Like, that was a great RPG. I don't think I have the time or the bandwidth to start it over right now, even though that sounds great. But let's just play around. And honestly, it was a little bit overwhelming. I was like way too strong for all the random mobs that popped by. And I just wanted to try out all my cool abilities, but they like died before I could really understand what was going on. I was like, okay, now I just got to find another random mob. I think I ended up doing a mission or two to fight some like bigger bad guys, but I was like, you know what? This definitely just like deserves to be just started over. So I stopped. But I do.
So I didn't do that.
Yeah, I did not do that.
I'll probably replay it. It is definitely BioWare games as a whole tend to be kind of like my comfort games because I just like them a lot. So I'll probably play at least.
It was a really good one
ahead of this if I have the time. Yeah, I mean,
the
coming out
combat
fall,
in that is more akin to this, right, than it is to Dragon Age 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit was the combat. If y'all thought the combat looked pretty cool, action RPGs are getting a little dime a dozen.
I'm about to say it looked like Final Fantasy, bro. It looks. Right. I was like, this looked kind of cool.
Yeah, it might be kind of cool, but it's like I don't know if it's bringing anything new to the table anymore, and that's what I'm kind of worried about. I don't Dragon Age Inquisition was fun. I played a mage, so of course I think that made it better. I think if I played a different character, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much because of the action RPG-ness of just like, yeah, push a button and you keep stabbing them. But we'll see if this feels clean.
Mage is crazy. I didn't know you're a mage guy.
Yeah.
I thought you were a rogue all the time.
I used to be a rogue, but I don't. For that game, I think I picked a mage solely because of the mage Templar struggle, and I was like, I don't want to side with these fucking blockheads, so I became a mage.
That's
myself.
cool. I actually played that. I played the first half of that game 3 or 4 times until I landed on Archer. Archer is.
Are you serious?
You did a me situation, restarting a game over and over again.
I did.
Oh,
that's funny.
That Archer is the best for Inquisition, I think.
Interesting. I played a fire mage, and that was a lot of fun. So I'd recommend that. I enjoyed that a lot.
I was mage for like the first playthrough, and then I started over and tried a couple, and then I landed on the rogue, specifically the arching, eventually. Nice. But yeah, I think the combat in that game was really fun, and this one looks super duper similar, but a little bit flashier. So I think that's all good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see your guys' point. It's not exactly anything new. Like, we kind of saw this for the first time, I think, with Inquisition. That's been perfected with like Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth. So
16 and all those games. Yeah, I think what's gonna put this game apart and what would potentially make it like in the running for like Game of the Year, because that's it could be in the running technically. Is that story has to really be down pat. I hope it really tells a really interesting story. And I think Inquisition told a beautiful story. So if they can pull that off again, great. We already know that Solus is not the main or not the end all be all.
Well, that's what I was
villain.
gonna say. Like with the title change, like how much do you think this affects whatever story they were going to tell?
And that's why I'm kind of nervous. Is because like I really thought that this was going to be a direct like sequel to Inquisition. Maybe not direct sequel, but like it was really going to be big on like Dreadwolf made it sound like Solus is doing some shit that we need to end. And I thought that was such an interesting character in Inquisition. I was really excited to see that taken further. But now it sounds like since they've kind of widened their ideas, they're lessening his place in it. And I don't know if there's going to be there has to be a big twist that's really interesting. If the twist ends up being there's a bigger bad guy and the bad guy is just like a scarier looking monster, leave it. I don't really want that. But if it's something that's like as big of a twist as this, it's like, oh, your best friend actually fucking wants to kill you all. That's what they need. They need that kind of level to happen for me to be really interested in a story past Solus personally.
Yeah, he seems like a good fit for the end-all be-all, but I didn't know that there was going to be somebody else. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like you're going to be the Veilguard.
What do you mean?
It seems like you're based on the trailer, you're getting a band of people to literally create this. Veilguard.
Mm-hmm.
Guard in the Veil.
Yeah, maybe.
And look, it could be a thing where it's like, maybe this isn't the end all be all, but if this tells a solid, smaller scale story and it does it very, very well, maybe that gives them enough push to get to that big, end game type level game and story,
Yeah.
Maybe they just need a softball get them back on their feet.
I don't know, man. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 coming out. They need something special. That's true. Because Larian's just written such interesting stories with that and Divinity Original Sin 2. Like so many games have come out since the last one of these games have come out that have done really incredible things that it's like you can't make a 7 out of 10 RPG right now. It's just you just can't.
No, I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying more as in like the story is so good though. It like the story I guess in the similar thing, how like you thought like Dragon Age 2 was more of a small scale story, but you still thought it was worth telling. That could be something similar to that, but like even better. Like if they tell just a fucking just crushed it, but it's not like you're saying, it's not Dreadwolf. It's not all about that, but they still crush this one in a smaller scale.
It can't be a small scale story because of what it involves. They've already set themselves up for one of the biggest stories they could possibly tell. It's about the veil being torn and opening up. That is a world level.
But it's actually just opening up in this small neighborhood. That's just the neighborhood only.
Just at one apartment building is where it's actually open. Yeah. So they've already kind of I don't know. I have faith in them. I have faith in them. I was like, I have faith? I have faith in them for Dragon Age.
This. Look,
I mean, by the end of the gameplay trailer, I was like really like on the edge of my seat. I was like, "What is inside the veil?"
I was pretty jazzed.
I did want to see what happened next. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then also the choices that were being made along the way, like, okay, you need to stay here. I'm gonna take this person, and let's go run this game. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's just like classic BioWare stuff, but like,
I cannot wait.
I'm just so excited. Yeah, I want more like minute to minute quick decisions, where you don't have time to like sleep over it. Where you just got to make like 1,000 decisions every like bigger mission.
I will be accidentally killing one of my companions. It is destined. I have a feeling that I'm going to be killing one of my companions. It's going to be an accident. Yep. And I'm not restarting if it happens.
So I remember, Brian, you said recently that you hate save scumming, but you love BioWare games, and I always just thought that they were like unavoidable part of playing the game. Are you anti-save scumming the whole time you play like all these BioWare games for the first time?
If I play a choice-based game, unless I do something really egregious, like I just thought it was going to do something else and it does something stupid, like I say, like I click like the "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" and then like Master Chief like punches him in the face or something. Outside of things like that, I don't save scum. So I've had situations like the first time I played Mass Effect 2, I definitely had people die. Like I didn't save everybody because I just made dumb decisions.
Shit. I think when I killed Rex for the first time, I restarted several hours.
You're like, no.
That is not the end of his story.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't care less. I do it. Do what makes you happy. I don't care.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I know some people are really serious about that. But they have to have the perfect playthrough, and I'm like, I don't believe in a perfect playthrough because life isn't perfect, right?
I wish I had that similar mindset. It's like an annoying thing where I'm like, but I really would like to, because I know I'm not going to play it a second time for the most part.
That's exactly why. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to do it. Like I'm playing Cyberpunk right now. I got to make some decisions in that game. I ain't going back to play this game a second time. That's just going to be what it is. That's going to be how I envision the game. And that's going to be it.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
I respect that.
But guys, look on the bright side. They've fixed the hair a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, some of the hair is looking a little weird. The girl with the ponytail is looking kind of crazy.
I haven't looked at the customizer
to be fair,
a lot.
I'm mostly comparing it to Dragon Age Origins, a game that's on a PS3. That looks like rough. Absolute hot shit.
So that's what's so funny. I would, if you do play Dragon Age Origins again, play it on PC. It does look a little bit better on PC. But I never would have thought I would have liked that game because when I first saw the commercial for it growing up, I was like, this looks like dick. Like, this game looks awful.
It looks bad. It looks bad.
And then it became one of my favorite games of all time. And I was like, that's crazy.
Similarly, my friend told me about the game. And I remember this was like early high school, I think. And I straight made fun of him for the next day. I was like, this game looks so ugly. Like, you like bad games. Oh. And then I like... I don't know what I said. And then I thought about it. I I saw like a couple reviews. I was like, shit, people think this game is good. So I think I rented it and then I bought it from like shortly after that. Cause it's ugly, but sometimes. Damn, it's good.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. You know. I think the Inquisition was definitely the biggest jump. In terms of between them all, I feel.
I don't know how replayable the first Dragon Age is at this point.
Last time I played it, crunchy. I cheated to skip all the fights.
Word.
Wow, what the hell?
And that's probably what I would do. I mean, I do the same in KOTOR
as
well.
You watched a movie?
Basically, essentially. You can't talk. You love some Uncharted-ass games, man. Those games
it's true.
But I love the story,
really funny.
And it's just like, I just want to still make the choices and stuff like that. But I don't want to sit there and have my rogue backstab somebody for 30 minutes. Fucking fuck that.
Nah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, it's fine if you're like a tactical, like RPG kind of person. You probably still enjoy it. But I'm at the point that those kind of games just don't do it for me much anymore. So I skipped the combat last time I played. Also, I don't have 40 hours to put into a game like that. So
no, I would agree. If there's something to skip, it's gonna be all the random encounters. Nope. You can skip all that. Skip it all. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, look, I think we're all, for the most part, looking forward to it. Maybe slightly hesitantly for valid reasons. I would be so fucking surprised if this actually came out this year. I would love it, but I would be genuinely surprised.
Oh no, really? I'm
just like it's this been long. I would be surprised if like actually it's gonna be delayed 6 months to like spring 2025 maybe.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I mean, look, based on this gameplay, they've got it running.
Yeah, they got it running.
The
game exists to some extent. Yeah. Fall is
the last thing we saw before this, I think, was a random cinematic of nothing.
Yep.
It was just some background curtains, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was a leak one time, a little bit of the gameplay from ages ago. I think that was a couple years ago that happened, and that was the only thing we ever seen in this game. And now we got the full game, and it's also coming out in potentially 3 months.
It's crazy. It's crazy. What the fuck?
That is wild. What's the last day of fall?
I was about to say, technically it had to be
probably sometime in September.
November?
Last day of fall? No, that's like the first day of fall.
Oh, last day of fall. Sorry.
It's like probably December. So I think December 22nd is like the beginning of winter.
December? Oh yeah, it's gonna be December 20th. Fall 2024, guys.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like I feel like it's pretty far into December when actual fall ends.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I thought they would say like quarter 4 or something like that. So at least they could have like a fiscal quarter they can look at and could still come out in January or February and be okay. But they said fall 2024.
They put a year to it.
That game is, I'm assuming it's going to come out in November. November is usually a good time for a game to come out.
Probably. Yeah. Unless it depends when Call of Duty comes out. Basically.
Ooh, Call of Duty I feel like usually comes out in November too, to be fair.
They just got to avoid that by a couple weeks and yeah.
That's going to be on Game Pass. Nobody cares about that anymore.
I hope it's great.
That's true.
I can't wait to play it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, looks very cool. It makes me really want to go back and play Origins and start Inquisition and all that nonsense. But guys, sometimes you just gotta platinum Final Fantasy Rebirth first. It's kind of
you gotta do.
Which we'll segue straight into our final segment of the week then, guys. A segment we like to call Free for All, title pending. This is a segment we can talk about our day, talk about life, rant, fight. It is Free for All. Guys, I did stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk about stuff I want to do. I actually did stuff this time.
What did you do?
I not only watched the movie, I played video games as well, guys.
No.
It was crazy. So I'll try to make this quick. So yes, I finally picked up Final Fantasy VII again. I'm slowly making my way through hard mode and the last trophy that I need before I can put this game down forever. Even though I love it. So that was fun. But the other thing I did, I finally went back. And because perfect timing came out very recently, I picked up Destiny 2 again because the final shape, the final like big, massive, end-all, be-all, 10-year saga to the end of the Destiny story, they're saying, came out. No, I did not buy it. Maybe I will. Who knows? But mostly I went back because I got like the last 2 expansions for free from PlayStation. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to play through those campaigns and have fun with that for now. And it was fun. It's cool. I just played through the Lightfall one, which is the one that came out last year. Most people saw it was pretty lackluster because it was kind of like, it seemed very much like it was a fucking Dragon Ball Z filler episode before the big bad shows up type of thing people felt. And after playing it, I mean, kind of is, it kind of is but again, I don't know. I'm not deep into the Destiny lore. It's way too complicated. I will watch a 6-hour the story of Destiny over the course of a week or whatever to get caught up on what I've played to make sure I'm like, I don't know what just happened. Please someone explain to me who these people are and what's going on.
Too many proper nouns.
I'm not reading
that game.
I'm not reading these fucking lore entries. There's pages and pages of lore entries that you can find in this game, and I'm just like,
I bet.
No, it's not for me. Can't do it. But look, the gameplay is fun. The subclass that comes with it it basically turns me. You get essentially a grappling hook. You can swim around.
That sounds fun.
And I get a cool scorpion spear as a super to spin around, which is sweet. It's fun, and I'm excited to kind of go. I beat the campaign, and I'm excited to kind of see what is in this new expansion and play around. But I will say, I have heard good things on this final expansion. Like I have heard it's actually really wraps up the story in a way that people didn't think they could pull off. And I'm glad to know that they still got the juice. Bungie, who I think most people would say, not only gameplay wise, obviously, but we're great storytellers with his Halo games, I would say, especially Devin, if you were here. So it's very cool, was very cool that they pulled it off in a way. And I will say, like, because like every time a new expansion comes out, they give you like the first mission for free. Obviously, they want to tease it and give you a little taste.
That's funny. Yeah.
It was a bittersweet, mostly sad moment when you hear Keith David voice the one of the characters that Lance Reddick, who passed away last year. Was it last year? Yeah. That he played in that game, and so it was a very different, interesting thing. But it was like, oh man, that's still sad. But no, it was cool. And then the last thing I will quickly hop into and say, I went to the movies as well. I finally got to see one of the 2 movies that I've been wanting to see that came out this past year. I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Epic.
Technically, yes, the technically sequel, the 4th movie in this new rebooted franchise after the big Andy Serkis trilogy that came out. I don't even know when the last one came out at this point. Probably like 2016, 17, something like that. It's been a minute. This one takes place like hundreds of years, generations later after that last one.
Oh wow!
So Caesar is dead. Caesar's dead and gone. And it's the world is very Horizon Zero Dawn. It's all green. Everything's been taken over by the earth and stuff
I didn't
like
realize that.
Yeah, no, like I went into it like I didn't read anything on it. I didn't hear what the reactions were to it. I just went into it because I like those other 3. And I was like, I'm hoping this is good. And it was a solid movie. I really, really enjoyed it. Like there was genuine surprises in certain character motivations and stuff that I was just like, oh wow, I kind of really love that they didn't go in a way that I thought they were going that would have seemed very typical, you know? And they did things I was like, oh, this character is way more not what I thought they were, and kind of really in a very interesting way that I was like, I would love to see more of this story and how they continue it, because I just didn't see it coming. But other than that, I mean, all the CG, they I don't know, they worked their magic at this point. It looks fucking incredible.
So like, were all the characters apes? Were there any humans?
There is a human girl. This isn't a spoiler because she's in the trailer. There is a human girl that becomes like, it looks like their companion at one point in the trailer. But yeah, most of the pretty much every other character is as a fucking CG ape.
Wow, that's wild.
It's crazy. And it's nuts. But yeah, solid performances. Like I would say mostly unknown cast. I mean, the girl companion, she plays a character in the Witcher series, but she's kind of up and coming. And then the main, like, quote unquote bad ape that's like this king who says he's kind of the reigning king of his kingdom, quote unquote. He's played by a guy. He's one of those guys that you'd be like, I know that guy's face, but I don't know his name, and I've seen him and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He's usually a bad guy all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
He played the Blob in X-Men Origins Wolverine in a big suit.
Oh shit!
He's that guy.
Funny.
He just looks like one of the generic white guys, but you're like, oh, he's kind of a niche kind of dude. But mostly a cast of unknowns, I would say. But yeah, I loved like this movie. It was a really good movie. Maybe it was also just because I was like, man, it's also not having to take notes during a movie is so nice.
Just being able to watch it and enjoy it.
Just getting in there, sit there and just watch a movie that I've been wanting to watch and just getting to absorb it and really just love it. It was great. And I'm excited to catch Furiosa. That's my next thing.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that was me. It was a great time. Also, I got stitches, which is fun. That can stay for another story. I look like a boxer, but it's great. Shout out to God of War Ragnarok. All right, who's next?
I'll go next. Yeah. I got a similar movie extravaganza for my free for all.
Ooh, yeah.
I was at a film festival, a project that I shot, a pilot that I shot about a year ago, got into Tribeca Film Festival, which was a huge deal for me. It's my first time at like a first time at a big festival, and the first time at any festival for something that I shot. So it was a big accomplishment for sure. Nice little feather in the cap. Had a good time at the screening. Everybody laughed. It was like this quirky, funny, wacky little comedy thing. Got a really good reaction and stuff. And yeah, it was cool. Met some people, went to some parties, did some schmoozing. It was nice. Tore up the red carpet. It was a whole thing.
Hell yeah. That sounds
Yeah, it was
fun.
it was this week-long festivity, and we premiered on Sunday, and then again middle of the week, and then the last screening for our block was yesterday. There's all these other events going on the whole week in the city, which is really cool. I'm gonna probably check it out in the future, but I was so busy. The only other thing that I had time to do was see this Q&A questionnaire thing with the two directors of the original Final Fantasy VII and the remake and remaster or rebirth Final Fantasy VII. So I got to see like those two creative directors. Like they were like 100 feet. No, way closer. They're like 30 feet in front of me. And yeah, getting to hear them talk about their inspirations and like their process behind the game at this huge film festival event was really exciting.
That's super exciting. That's really, we've talked about Final Fantasy VII so much at this point.
I know.
So we're all very interested in that.
It was really surreal to be relatively close to them in the crowd. They were like surprisingly young people, especially I forget the person's name now. The creative director of Rebirth. I'm like, it's hard to tell how old people are, but I'm like, damn, you look like less than 40 years old at least.
I was about to say he's probably like 35 years old.
Gosh, that's crazy. His like catalog, like he's obviously directing like two huge games, remake and rebirth, but he's also been involved with a bunch of other like successful Final Fantasy games, and it's just wild. People like performing on that high of a caliber at such a young age, and hearing their like charisma back and forth, they were just like, they seem like really like genuinely good friends, and they work together on games that they enjoy. It just sounds really cool. So that was nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, congratulations, by the way. That's super cool.
Thanks, bro.
That's fucking awesome.
Thank you very much.
So sick.
Yeah, I didn't really tell anybody about it. It all felt like a dream until it finally was actually happening. Then I was like, okay, it's a thing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like it makes sense that he seemed very young. It's like the guy that did who's a part of these Final Fantasy remakes as well, who did Kingdom Hearts. He's only 53 years old now. And that first Kingdom Hearts game, which I'm pretty sure he was the lead on,
like
I think
2001
came out
2002,
20 years ago.
That's crazy. Holy crap!
So I wouldn't be surprised. That's insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
but that's
pretty
sick,
cool.
Dude. That's super cool.
Nice. Well, none of what I did is very interesting. I actually didn't do anything. So instead of telling you guys about stuff that I did, I wanted to talk real quick about canceled video games, because this was a news article that actually came about a game that I'd been following.
It sounded like you were about to do an ad. I'm not gonna lie.
Starts playing a little music in the background. But yeah, I saw an article before we got on about a game that I was kind of following a little casually that was first announced last year, and it was going to be a competitor to the EA Maxis game, The Sims. Someone was finally making another life simulator that wasn't The Sims. A game that disrespects your fucking wallet so badly, because it used to cost like $2,000 to buy every expansion pack for The Sims 3, which is egregious, and I hate them for that, because that game came out 50 years ago. And this game was called Life by You, and Life by You has been canceled. It was slated to come out for early access actually this month, and 2 weeks before it came out for early access, it got delayed. That was back in like the end of May, like May 21st, that they were like, oh, we got to delay this shit so no early access come in, and we don't really have a definite timeline of when it's actually going to come out. And they have announced as of today, they're not making the game at all, which is crazy considering it was about to go into early access, which means they really were optimistic.
They had a game
on where they were in this game, and something happened that they were like, we don't like what we have, and instead of just delaying it indefinitely and making a game a year later, they canned it.
They said nope.
They scrapped it. And what really sucks to that, and we've talked a lot about this when it comes to like dev layoffs and things like that, have kind of been a big issue that's been happening. Not kind of, it's been a huge issue. But it comes down to situations like this where like you've probably been working on this game for at least 2 years, if not more. This is something that you were planning on putting on your resume, something that you're planning to have like a physical copy of yourself. And now that thing isn't going to exist anymore, which is going to make you finding a new job, because you've lost your job at this point probably, much more difficult. because this is kind of the way the creative industry kind of buckles and folds, which is kind of disappointing in a way. Which I get it, money. Sometimes you're allocating the resources and it's just not working. You just gotta pivot, do something else. That's fine. But it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to see these kind of things. Like I couldn't imagine like something that I was working this hard on for this long crumbling, and then there's just nothing to show for it. So
yeah, wow.
I want to.
Yes.
Yeah, that
sounds wild.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, like Alex, I assume you've probably at some point have worked on a project in your life that it just like nothing ever really came from. I mean, you still get paid, so it's like
oh yeah. Early on, definitely. Early on. Still yes, but early on, not always getting paid. And then if it like never comes out, excuse me. Yeah, some projects you didn't get paid on. You just like doing it for like the experience and the people and like getting to work on something hopefully amazing. And then when things just like don't ever get finished or like don't necessarily go anywhere or make it to like any sort of audience, it's certainly like a bit of a bummer.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that just made me sad.
I mean, no, it is. No, it is. It sucks. And it's just like I don't know how that gets fixed.
Right.
You know.
Like the gaming industry definitely needs to get smaller, which sounds so weird. That sounds like such a antithesis of what you want out of something that you care about. But the expectation is just too large at this point. It's just it's really, which is kind of interesting because it's like not at the same time because indie games are doing well, but it's kind of like if you want to make something that's not indie, the expectations of what you need to make has to be so ridiculously high that like Larian Studios, for example, me and Oscar talked a little bit about that last week, I believe, about how like they've gotten bigger and they've expanded, they're making more things, and it's like
I heard about that. Yeah.
What they're doing is probably a mistake because the expectations are so high and they've made such a good game that it's like whatever they make after that is not going to be as good. It's almost not possible.
They're gonna have so many more people and things to answer to rather than just doing what you want.
And now that game's probably going to not do as well. They're probably going to end up firing people. All that's going to end up it's the circle of life that kind of goes through it, and it just makes me kind of nervous about things like that. That it's like I wish games had less expectation. Like I wish we could go back to just having a 10-hour good game, solid game that just feels like I don't need a $300 million budget Call of Duty where also I can jump in 87 directions and it makes my mom's breakfast for her every morning. Like I don't need that.
But what about BioWare? BioWare doesn't exist in the 10-hour format.
Oh, exactly. And that's been an issue. That's why Anthem fucking failed. Because they tried to do too much with it. And then they almost stopped being a studio because of it. They lost all. That's kind of an issue that we didn't talk about in our like main topic. But like a lot of the people that worked for BioWare that were like, Casey Hudson's and stuff like that have worked there 10 plus years, all quit. Either quit or got fired. So that is a shell of the company that it used to be. And a lot of it had to do with trying to fit an expectation that wasn't feasible for them.
But there's also like Divinity and like Baldur's Gate and other games that I know that you've played and loved that are long. Like some of the games that I think that I hear you talking about the most are really long.
Yeah, when I talk about length, I'm more talking about like kind of scale of games. RPGs have always been long. Like Final Fantasy VII, the 40-hour game, the original one, and that.
You mean like a game that's like trying to do everything?
Yeah,
like possibly.
No, sure.
An open world RPG, I'm fine with that being 40 hours. Why the fuck is Last of Us 2 40 hours? You know what I mean? Like, it's shit like that. That is kind of like, I don't know that you need, but that's what everybody wants right now. Like everything, service game is the big thing right now. Not every world needs
to be an open world either.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that used to be a big issue for a while. It's like, that was the big thing that every investor was like, we want a good open world game that's 40 hours, add multiplayer, or add all this other shit that no one wanted. Now it's live service. Now everybody wants a game that lasts for 10 years. That's very lucrative.
That's not.
So that's why every game's getting a battle pass. Like, why the fuck does a single player? I guess it's not single. I guess it's multiplayer as well. That Rocksteady game, Suicide Squad. Why does that have a battle pass?
Oh,
like shit like that. It's just like it's not necessary, but that's what's big.
Unfortunately.
Down with money and capitalism. Let's make art again.
Yeah, you're right. Guys, let's boycott this Dragon Age game.
Whoa there. That's a day one, buddy. That's a day one purchase right there. The game's going to be buggy as hell.
No. If it comes out this year, it definitely will be. All right. That is our show, listeners. Don't forget, you can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fortress spelled FOUR. Free to email us any questions, feedback, recommendations, anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 Bollywood R's. Rate and review and recommend to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you, Jackie, for helping get to the podcast every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art, Alex for the music, and Devin, thank you for being here, even when you're not here. You can find Brian on Instagram at ITC_, by the way, Alex Peters Films, and Devin. Find him. I don't know. I got nothing. He's gone. He's not here. Nope.
If you find him, let us know.
Yeah, we've lost him. He's not missing. We've just lost him. So, next week, I don't know. We'll do some fun. We'll be here. I think we're slowly entering a zone where we're gonna really have to pick and choose what TV shows or anything is coming out. House of the Dragon just started. I haven't watched that. Obviously, The Boys started. The Acolyte's been running for 2 weeks or whatever. Shit's just pop. It's just the summer of content. It's a summer of chaos. We'll see.
It's chaotic.
We'll see what happens by the end. But either way, listeners, we'll be here next week. As usual, happy holidays and put a coat on. It's cold out there. It's like 90 degrees. So
I thought I was
going to ask Alex why he has
today, actually.
Oh no,
Alex got a haircut.
He did.
I got a haircut.
He also got ghosts in his house. I've been seeing something fly by his camera screen for.
Yeah, I think he's a ghost.
Is that what that is? Has it been
maybe.
plant? It's been a plant this whole time.
Yeah, just a
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a dog for the whole time. All right, listeners, we'll see you here next week on another episode of The Fourtress of.